Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, my name's Dani Jade. I hope you're good. So today I'm going to be showing you how I got this really nice bronzed and gold eyeshadow look with the full glam face as well. Before we start the main part of the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to see my new posts and uploads. Also, make sure you hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it, and make sure you send me some comments in the comment section as well. So let's get on with the video. So we're going to start off with eyes. Normally I do eyes first just because it's easier to clean up if you make a mistake. I always start off by putting some concealer on my lids just to prime that, and I'm also going to use this to carve out my brows. I'm going to line just underneath where my brows are, just using all of that concealer just to make it nice and neat. And then I'm going to take this buffer brush from Zoeva and just buff out all of that concealer onto my eyelid just to give a nice base. Okay, so for the eyes, we're gonna start off with more of a lighter transition shade, then make it a little bit more smoky with a dark bit in the crease, and then we're gonna put some glitter. So the transition shade that I'm using is from the Urban Decay Heat Palette. This one right here, Sourced. We're gonna start rubbing that all over the eyes with this nice big fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna put that all in my crease, wing it out a little bit. You can see I'm bringing it right out just because I like that real winged look. Next, we want more of a darker brown, which is going to go in the crease. So I'm going to take this smaller brush. It's a Real Techniques brush, and we've got this Morphe palette, and we're going to go in with a darker brown. So we're going to put that right in the crease. And then we're going to go back with this big brush and the same transition shade from the Urban Decay Heat Palette and just blend that out a little bit. And then back in with a smaller brush and really put that right in the crease, build it up. You can see, look, it looks really messy, and that is why I like doing my eyes first, because I'm going to clean up at the end. Next, we're going to take this tiny little brush. This is a Morphe N455. We're going to go in with an even darker brown, and that's going to go right in the crease, just doing tiny little circles, just to keep it exactly where I want it, right in the crease. Again, don't worry about all the mess, because we're going to clean up after. Alright, so we're just going to take this really small fluffy brush. This is a clean brush, so it's got nothing on it, and we're just going to buff out all of this just so it blends a little bit more. So when you're blending eyeshadow, it's literally all about just going back and forth between the colours that you're blending, just so you haven't got any harsh lines, and just really take your time, because yeah, the longer you take and the more you build up the product, then the easier it's going to blend. Next, we are going to start cutting the crease. So I'm just going to do a half cut this today, just because I want this sort of winged look and I don't want to cut the entire, like my whole eyelid, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to use this same little brush that we did. It's like a tiny little flat brush, same one that we used to carve out the eyebrows. We're going to use this with the same concealer just to cut out that crease there. Now this isn't really the best brush, I need to find another one, so if anyone's got any suggestions then let me know in the comments. So I'm just putting some concealer straight onto that brush like that. I'm just going to start right at the inner corner, pack on some of that concealer straight onto the lid like that. We're going to just drag it right where the crease is, but we're only going to go halfway. Okay, so this is the best part. This is my favourite part anyway. So we're going to add some glitter. Glitter I'm going to put on top today. These are the Peaches Loose Pigment eyeshadows. They're so good for packing on the lid. You've got glittery ones, and then you can also just get matte ones as well. These are literally my favourites. They're so good and they're just so easy to use, and they're really, really affordable as well. They also come with, I think because I got the pack, it came with this glitter glue, also from Peaches Makeup. So because my concealer is quite dry, I normally use this glue as well to help it stick. But if you've got like a wet concealer, when you do the cut crease, you can just go ahead and put the pigment straight on. And we're going to be using this really fluffy brush, which is also from Peaches Makeup. I'm just going to put a little bit of this glue up on my hand, and then I'm going to just cover the brush in the glue. And then what I normally do is I just lightly pat that onto my lid first. We're going to dip, you can see in the lid, I'm just going to use what's in the lid of this one. We're going to dip the brush in, cover that in glitter, and then we're going to just pack that right onto the lid where the glue was. So this is the gold shade, Gatsby first, and I'm just going to mix the two shades just because I really like both of them. And I wanted more of like a goldy bronze look as well, and this gold is quite like light, so we're going to add a little bit of the other shade as well in a minute. And these literally are so pigmented, you only need like the tiniest bit of eyeshadow. Oh, so that's the gold. So we're going to just dip straight into the bronze colour. And we're going to start packing that on top as well. So when you've got these sort of glitters, when you're putting them on, you just want to pat them. Just because if you start rubbing it, it's just gonna, the glitter's not gonna hold. You're just gonna be rubbing it around. And then all I'm going to do, just to blend the glitter and the darker matte colours that we used, just going to go in with a brown and just try and blend that. And then we're just going to touch it up. So we're going to go back in with the darkest brown. Alright, now let's clean all of this. So I'm just taking a makeup wipe and we're going to clean all of this under my eyes and get a nice sort of sharp line like that. Alright, we're going to take this really tiny brush again. It's the same one we used right at the beginning in the crease, but I've just cleaned it. And we're going to take a really light eyeshadow shade that is similar to my skin. Dip that in there, and we're just going to neaten up under the brow. So you can also do this. Sometimes what I do is I do my eyeshadow, when I'm blending it goes like way too high all the way up to my eyebrow. So you can also just do this if you want to clean it up. So if you went up too high, you can use this lighter shade just to clean it up and bring it down a little bit if you want to as well, and just help it blend. Cool, okay, so the eyes are done. Let's move on to the base. My cheeks are really red. I feel like this ring light is just making me really hot. So let's put some foundation on to fix that. So before I actually did the video, I already put some primer on my face. So I used the Fenty Beauty primer, which is really good. I find this one really moisturizing. And then just to give it more of like a matte look, I also used the Professional. This is from Benefit. So we're gonna go straight in with some foundation, and I'm gonna be using, I think this is L'Oreal True Match foundation. So I'm just gonna take that on a big brush like this one. I think this is from Zoeva, and I'm just gonna take some, put a little bit onto each cheek, and then we're gonna blend. Cool. Alright, next we're going to contour, and I'm just going to put that just not under but directly on my cheekbones, because I like to keep my contour quite high just so it makes my cheeks lifted. And then we're going to put some on the forehead and on the nose, and then just under the chin. And then I've got a smaller version of that other little buffing brush that I just had, and this one's actually a Jeffree Star one, and it's just a tiny little buffer brush, which is really good when you want to like contour. So I'm just literally dabbing like this because I want to keep it where I've drawn it on. And then just to make it a little bit deeper, we're going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the cream contour palette. I literally love Anastasia. This is like one of my favorite makeup brands. And we're gonna go in with the darkest shade. The only thing I find with this contour palette is it's really thick. I feel like I need like an oil. Because yeah, it's quite dry, so it's definitely harder to blend. Alright, and then we're going to take some more concealer right under the eyes. A little bit down the nose, on the forehead here, just to brighten up those areas, and a little bit on the chin. And we're just going to pat that in the skin. Now we want to keep that line nice and carved where we had the eyeshadow, and bring that up as well. And then with whatever's just left, I just do like a little line here just to make that contour a little bit neater. And then to make it blended, we're just going to go back in with the foundation brush that we use. And then we're just going to pat all over everything just to press it into the skin. Oh, right. For powder, we've got the Collection 2000 Sheer Loose Powder. I've always used this powder. It's good for the price. It's really cheap. It's probably like £3 in Superdrug. But yeah, obviously it doesn't last as long or as well as like a more expensive product, but it does, like I've always used this and it's good enough, but by the end of like a long day you can see like the little cracks. So, but it's definitely good value for what it is. And we're just gonna pat that under the eye where we put the concealer just to set that. And then we're just gonna dip into just the lid of that powder with this big fluffy brush. And we're just gonna go over the whole face just to give a little bit of powder and to set it, but without putting too much product on. Okay, bronzer. So I'm gonna be using this I got for my birthday. This is the Fenty Beauty bronzer and it's shade Caramel Cutie. So we're just going to use this big brush. It's quite a fluffy brush and we're just dipping that into there. And this Fenty stuff is really pigmented, so it comes out quite a lot. So I'm just going to tap it on where I want it, and my hand is really close to the top of the brush just to give it more control. And then we're going to blend that right up to the temple. And yeah, it's such a nice bronze shade. A little bit on the forehead. And then we're going to go back with this big fluffy brush and then we're just going to buff that out here just to make it all a little bit smoother. If anyone's got any recommendations for other powders, then let me know. Alright, next, blush. So this is, I feel like a lot of my base makeup is really cheap. I hate buying like foundation. I feel like foundation, powder and concealer, I just hate spending money on it, but I should really invest. I need to get out of that habit. But yeah, so blush, we've got this Primark blush and this was £1 in Primark, but it's really, really good. And I'm just taking this angled like fluffy brush, so we're just gonna pat that into here, and then with the lid I just take some of that product off and pat it on, and then really lightly we're just gonna put that up on the cheeks and build it all the way up. And this I feel like has got a bit of a shimmer in it as well, which gives you a bit of a like highlight. Okay, and we're nearly done. So brows, I always do my brows last. If I do them first, then all of my base product just goes over them. Just gonna brush the hairs, get some of that product and that powder out. To just shape my brows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and I've also got the matching Anastasia brush. This product lasts forever. Literally, I've had this for maybe like 3 years. Yeah, and you can see like I've used a lot of it, but it just keeps going. So I definitely recommend because it lasts forever. Okay, and I'm just neatening up my brows, drawing that shape that I want. Okay, and to finish the brows, you can see I've filled them in to shape them, and then just to set them I'm going to use this sort of like brow mascara thing, and it just sets them, and I feel like it makes them look more defined, like the hairs as well, especially when you've got thinner brows. It just makes your brows look a lot thicker. Yeah, you can set them in the direction that you want as well. I literally just brush it up and across in the direction that I want, like that, and give these front brows a little bit more of colour just to make them look a little bit thicker. Alright, almost last thing. First, I'm always going to put mascara on, then I've got, I don't even know where these lashes are from, but yeah, they're just really fluffy eyelashes. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll be back. Alright, so lashes are on. I love these. I feel like I'm going to have to find out where these are from because yeah, these are like my favourite lashes that I wear when I'm going out, and these have lasted me so long. I've had them like over a year. So you probably noticed I haven't put any mascara under my eyes, and that's just because I'm going to do like a little bit of a shadow under there just to finish off the look. So we're going to take this really small, thick, like packed brush. This is, I think this is another Zoeva one. We're going to use the darkest brown shade that we use on top of the eyeshadow in the crease. Cool. And then to neaten that up, we're going to go in with this really tiny brush that we use here under the brow, and we're going to use that same lighter shade and just neaten up under here, so that all blends together. And then we're going to put a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes. Final thing is going to be lips. This is a MAC lip liner. It's literally very similar to my lip shade, and I'm just going to line my lips, or overline them a little bit as well to give it more of a shape. We're going to use, this is the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. And then finally, this is the Fenty Gloss Bomb. These are so nice. They go on so smooth, just to finish it off. Alright, and that is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.